you don't want to make the pie crust and you just want to make granola, that's what you do. You take the granola, you put it in the oven, and you stir it every now and then. You want to make the pie crust,
I think this is so brilliant.
the tart crust, you simply mold it to the tart crust. You can use a pie shell, you can use muffin pans, you can make individual tarts if you want to really be elegant and serve, you know, individual tarts. That's very nice. You can do this with a variety of fillings too. You can add raisins to it, you can add dried cranberries if you want. But I wanted to do it with this particular recipe so that it was real straightforward but had the flavor of granola. And that's going to come from the honey and the nuts.
Great. And then this gets baked 325 for 20 minutes.
325 for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Keep your eye on it until it's brown. This one's been baked off. And we're simply going to take it and pop it out of the cheesecloth.
Look at how dense. It really is incredible, isn't it?
And oh, it's great. It really, and it's just perfect for a breakfast filling. For a tart like this, because essentially at Estia we have a fruit platter that's done with our yogurt and excuse me, with our granola and yogurt and fresh fruit. And what we're doing here is we're taking it a step up and we're making a crust with the granola, and we're adding flavor to the yogurt by making the puree.
And this gets chilled for a little while.
That's what you brought this over.
I sped it up.
That's okay. That's your job.
Okay, and how much yogurt did we just add to that?
We added 2 cups of yogurt as it came out of the container. It's not 2 cups when it's been dried. So here we have our tart. We're going to take our raspberries.
No, wait a second, those aren't raspberries.
These are wineberries.
Now, I have to say, because I'd never had a wineberry before, and they're really, how do we describe them? They're tarter than raspberries. They're not as tart as these guys.
They're not as tart as the blackberries. I chose them because in my garden right now, these are probably the most beautiful things there are.
They look like jewels.
Put it together just before you're going to serve.
I hear you.
Okay?
And you could do this individually, too. That would be so gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, you sure could. So we're just going to lay it out. Quick spread.
What a lovely idea. Oops, yes.
And then we're going to top it with the rest of the berries. And if we had a lot of time, we'd do it very carefully, but we don't. So we're just going to...
This is the country look.
Yeah, it's cruda. Country cruda.
We like it that way.
And then we're going to take the blackberries and just use them to garnish, because as you said, they are a little bit tart, and we just want them
That is
to finish.
Just gorgeous. Can't wait.
To plate.
Oops. You do your little magic trick.
We're going to do that and this.
A+. Oh, my goodness. That is gorgeous.
Go to any restaurant, you're bound to find something on the menu labeled as the freshest. Well, here at Estia Restaurant in Amagansett, New York, owner and chef Colin Ambrose was so committed to having the freshest produce that he built a garden right out the back door. And of course, here's where we find Colin, not in the produce department in the grocery store, but in your own backyard. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. Tell us about how this garden got started.
The garden got started 6 years ago. The land was offered to me by a friend, and I took the opportunity to do something I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid. You got to twist it. Remember, twist, twist, twist.
With both hands.
There it is. Way to go.
Let's see it. Let me see it. With a little help from Colin's family, we harvested all the vegetables we'll need to make some gourmet dishes. And along the way, we got some interesting ideas from Colin. Start by slicing 6 to 8 roasted and skinned beets about 1/4 inch thick. Now be sure to slice the yellow beets first, since the red ones get pretty messy. Line your mold with wax paper and start layering your sliced beets. Then smooth on a layer of herbed goat cheese. And remember to completely cover the beets so they don't bleed through. Then add a layer of golden beets, another layer of goat cheese, and top it off with the final layer of red beets. Then wrap it up and refrigerate it for about 1 hour. When you take the terrine out of the mold, be careful not to disrupt the layers as you unwrap it and put it on the plate.
Now it's time to slice the terrine.
That is beautiful, by the way. Can I just tell you that?
Thank you, thank you. This terrine is most presentable when it's sliced evenly on each side, so I like to save the end.
Well, good. That's one I can eat.
That's right. There you go. And that gives you an idea of what it looks like.